What do you get if you mix a 6-cylinder engine, rear-wheel drive, a small, competent chassis, and some mightily impressive engineering? I'm Jasper, you're watching Buckle Up, and this is the BMW M140i. Yes, you heard me. Rear-wheel drive in a hot hatch.
Despite production of this car only stopping in 2019, filming this video already feels like a nostalgia trip, as this was the last of the hot hatches to have a longitudinally mounted engine and rear-wheel drive. Even BMW has moved on to the world of transverse engines with the latest 1 Series. After its 2016 facelift, the 1 Series became a purposeful, sporty-looking car. The M140i takes that to another level, with satin silver mirror caps and inserts on the front bumper, and these beautiful 18-inch alloy wheels. In comparison to other hot hatches like the RS3, Golf R and A35, this car almost seems understated. It's sporty, but it doesn't shout about it. This particular model is also a shadow edition, meaning it gets tinted windows, blacked out exhaust tips and front grills, as well as a few extra options as standard.
The back end of this is gorgeous, and coupled with the long bonnet, handsome side creases and low slung design, this really is a good looking car. Both 3 and 5-door models are available, and while having 5 doors does make it easier getting into the back, it does not make up for the distinct lack of legroom back here, and that's coming from somebody who is hardly a gangly giant like Rob. I'll now have my assistant put the front seat into his driving position instead of mine, and we'll see how little rear legroom I am left with.
Oh god, my feet are stuck. No, am I gonna... Ooh, there.
Okay, I mean, my feet are now kind of wedged underneath the seat, but I still, well, I can fit my hands between my knees and the back of the chair, but if I wanted to get out, it's not going to be very easy.
It's not all doom and gloom when it comes to practicality though.
Fortunately, the boot is a cavernous 360 litres, much bigger than the Golf R's measly 343. Up in the front, I've got nothing but positive things to say. The seats are low and very adjustable, the cabin feels incredibly driver focused, and the materials used throughout are of excellent quality. This model is the one from 2017 onwards, where the driver's instrument displays were all digital. Practical touches such as an excellent sat-nav system as standard, plenty of storage cubbies, heated seats and fully automatic climate control make this car incredibly easy to live with. The real star of the show though is the 3-litre 6-cylinder twin-scroll turbocharged B58 engine which sits under the bonnet, and boy, does it sound good. Now, this car has the 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox, which means that it does the 0 to 60 sprint in 4.6 seconds. That is pretty nippy, shall we say. The rate at which you gain speed in this is alarming. If you flick the car into sport mode, the engine revs increase, it will hold a lower gear for longer, and throttle response is also improved. Not that it's bad in the first place. This has 4 drive modes: Eco Pro, Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus, each one getting progressively more aggressive. The driver comfort in this car is marvellous. There's an armrest on each side, and because it's an automatic, you don't need to worry about reaching anything down here, but the armrest is so perfectly located that even if this was the manual version, I would not be having any issues reaching the gear stick at all. Steering in this is very direct, and your input is immediately sent through to the front wheels. As you move up through Sport and Sport Plus, the steering gets increasingly more sensitive, but you don't actually feel a great deal coming through from the road, which is unfortunate. It's very easy to modulate brake pressure in this, and I think BMW are definitely one of the companies that they just pride themselves on their driver involvement and the feel that you get while driving your car. They are, after all, the ultimate driving machine, and by heck, they are good at it. Even on comfort, on a twisty road, by heck, this car grips. Now, the M140i is available with adaptive sports suspension, but this one doesn't actually have it. And to be honest, I don't think it's missing a great deal, although this being a car from the M Performance division, it does mean that as a default, the ride is a little bit firm. But realistically, on most roads, that wouldn't be too much of an issue. The firm ride does also mean that you can throw this car into a corner and there is a little bit of body roll, but it will grip and go round. One feature I absolutely love on M Sport BMWs is the adjustable seat bolsters that you can inflate and deflate with the push of a button down here, and that makes it very easy for somebody with quite a slim frame such as myself to feel hugged by the seat. This car is just a joy to drive. You know that all you need to do is flex your right foot and you have an unimaginable amount of power on tap. This is way more than any normal driving situation would need, but by heck it's fun. This car also has flappy paddles behind the steering wheel, which means you can choose your gear if you want to, but to be honest, the auto box in this is so good that you don't really need to do that unless you want to feel a little bit more involved in the driving experience. The visibility is pretty good all round, although the rear does leave a little bit to be desired. When you put your foot down, you can actually feel the power on the rear axle going from side to side. This car is available with a limited slip diff as an optional extra, but this car does not have that option ticked. The fact this engine is a 6-cylinder one means that the power is delivered in an incredibly smooth way as well. The twin-scroll turbocharger also means that it's an incredibly linear power delivery too, which is just excellent for driving. The steering wheel in this feels amazing. The materials that BMW have used throughout the cabin are of such high quality that they're just a pleasure to touch and use. The B58 under the bonnet of this car produces 500 Newton meters of torque from around about 1,450 revs per minute all the way through to around 5,000 if I remember correctly. And that is a healthy number of torque delivered over a wide power band. So what it means is that this car will make very fast progress if you want it to. You sit low in this car, and that means you feel quite connected to the road, which means that driving fast and through any kind of twists is just a pleasure. This is one of those cars that will push you into the back of your seat, but it will leave you there for nearly as long as you keep your foot on the throttle. It does not run out of gas even as your speed increases. The little bit of noise you get from the rear of the car when the engine revs up as the gearbox kicks down as well is fantastic. You can feel the gearbox just working away under the surface, and I've not even been tempted to try and use the paddles because it's so good at reacting quickly and just putting the power straight down. This is just an experience and a half. By heck, I am enjoying myself. Take this car for just a daily drive and yes, you will enjoy yourself because of the power on tap. Take it out for a drive and you will enjoy yourself even more. The handling is incredible. The chassis is so balanced. It's got perfect 50-50 weight distribution, which means that the car just sits so neutrally on the road. If you need to regularly carry more than one adult passenger, this probably isn't the car for you. The rear seats just aren't big enough to make them comfortable for regular use. That being said, the practicality isn't all bad because the boot is large and the split folding rear seats do mean you can adjust your luggage carrying capacity as you need to. With its tasteful sporty looks, fantastic handling and brilliant engine, this is definitely a car I'd recommend to a petrol head. Plus, it's the last of a now extinct breed of proper rear-wheel drive hot hatchbacks, which is a great shame and, if anything, simply makes it a little bit more special.